Hello everyone, welcome to Jumbo IAS. My name is Karan Singh Gatoj and I extend my warm greetings to all of you in these CSAT classes by Jumbo. Today we are going to start a new topic. The name is ratio and proportion. Have you ever wondered why the taste of food cooked by your mom remains same throughout all these years? Have you ever wondered why the taste of cold drinks in Delhi and the taste of same brand of cold drink in Chennai is same? Have you ever wondered that tea of certain tea chains, the taste of tea remains same throughout all the cities of India? The only reason for that is the ratio of ingredient. Yes, the ratio of spices that your mom is using to cook the meal, to cook the food, she is keeping those ratios same. So that is why the taste remains same. Same happens with cold drink, and same is the reason behind the taste of tea throughout the different cities of India for a particular tea chain. So let us understand few basics of this chapter first, few fundas of this chapter first, and then we will solve CSAT relevant questions. Let's start. Give me a second. So the very first point that I would like to ask from you is, do you think there is any difference between ratio and fraction? So please pause the video for a minute and think about it. So my first point is difference between ratio and fraction. Do you think there is any or they are same? Most of the time, what I have see what student answer. They say, sir, fraction and ratio they are same, but it is not. See, difference lies in the language of the examiner. So let me tell you how examiner will differentiate between ratio and fraction. Let us understand this thing with the help of an example. Suppose there is a rectangular floor and this floor has been paved by 8 tiles of same size. Some of the tiles are colored. Suppose this tile is colored, this tile is colored, and this tile is colored. Some of the tiles of this floor is colored and remaining are uncolored. So how examiner gonna ask a question on ratio for this particular example? Examiner will ask, what is the ratio of colored tiles to uncolored tiles of the floor? Okay, now see, examiner has written colored tile first. So you will count number of colored tiles. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 tiles are colored. So you will write number corresponding to colored tile first. And then this symbol of ratio. This column kind of symbol is symbol of ratio. Okay. And now you will count uncolored tiles on the floor. So how many tiles are uncolored? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 tiles are uncolored, so you will write number of uncolored tiles now, that is 3 is to 5, will be the ratio, will be the answer of this question. So remember, examiner is talking about colored tile first, so you will be writing number related to colored tile first and then number related to uncolored tile. Now, if examiner wanna ask question on fraction for this particular example, so what will examiner ask? Examiner gonna ask like, what fraction? Examiner will ask, what fraction of floor tiles are colored? Now, examiner has introduced the word fraction. So, first of all, focus on fraction of what examiner is talking about. So, in this question, examiner is talking about fraction of floor. Fraction of floor. So, you will write down total number of total number of tiles on the floor, which is 8 here. So, you will be writing 8 in the denominator. Why? Because examiner has written fraction of floor. So you will write down total number of tiles that are present on the floor in the denominator. And examiner is talking about colored. Examiner is talking about colored. So count of colored tile in the numerator. Okay. So this is how you're going to write down fraction of colored tiles of the floor. Now, if examiner asks you, what fraction of floor tiles are uncolored? So what are you gonna write down? Now this time again of floor is written, so you will write down total count of tiles in the denominator and count of uncolored tiles in the numerator. So this is how you can differentiate between a ratio and a fraction with the help of language. Okay, please make a note of it. Okay, so pause the video, note it down. Let us move on to the next point now. Next point number 2. Point number 2 is, please write down everybody, conversion of ratio into fraction and vice versa. Okay, so suppose let us understand this with the help of example again. Suppose examiner has told you that in a school ratio of girls to boys, in a school ratio of girls to boy is 7:5. It is given. Okay, now examiner is asking a question. What fraction of these students are girls? So what are you going to do? See, it is written what fraction of the students. What fraction of the student. So you will write down total number of students in the denominator. So in this ratio, number of girls are 7. In this ratio, number of boys are 5. So if you add number of girls to number of boys, if you add number of girls to number of boys, what are you gonna get? You're gonna get the count of total student. So total student in terms of ratio is 12. So you're gonna write down 12 in the denominator because it is written what fraction of student. Okay, so that is why 12 in the denominator are girls. So what is the number that is corresponding to girl here? 7. So 7 in the numerator. So I can say 7/12. This is the fraction of girls in the school. Now, if I want to find out fraction of what fraction of these students are boys, so what fraction of the student is written? The student. So that is why total value, total of girls plus boy gonna give us student. So that is why 12 in the denominator. And this time examiner is looking for boys. So that is why 5 in the numerator. So this is how we can solve ratio. We can convert ratio into fraction. Okay. Similarly, let us understand. Suppose examiner has given you an information like just a second. There is an information in the question, and examiner says 3/5 of the mixture of milk and water is milk. Okay. Now examiner has told you that 3/5 of what? The mixture. 3/5 of the mixture. So in that mixture, what are the ingredients? Milk is present and water is present. So if you do 3/5 of the total mixture, you will be getting what? You will be getting the quantity of milk. So in this mixture, we are having milk, and in this mixture, we are having water. Which means this 5, always remember, 5 denominator of the fraction always talk about, denominator of the fraction is always hinting towards total quantity. So 5 will talk about total quantity of milk and water, total quantity of mixture. So 5 is total, and it is given that 3/5 of the mixture in this that mixture milk and water is milk. Is milk is written. So is milk is written, it means this 3 over here is corresponding to what? Milk. So you're gonna write down 3 below milk. You're gonna write down 3 below milk. Now, how to find out water? See, total is 5. Total is 5. And from 5, if you subtract this quantity of milk, 3, you're gonna get what? The remaining part of the mixture, which is water here. So in this question, ratio of milk and water is what? It is simply 3:5. So this is how we can convert ratio into fraction and fraction into ratio. All right. I hope guys this is clear to everyone. Let us move on to the third point. Please pause the video, make a note of it. Let's move on to the next point now. Third point. Do remember, ratio does not have any units. Remember, what is ratio? Ratio is actually comparison of two or more than two number of articles. All right. So in the ratio, the units does not matter. In ratio, units does not matter. What does it mean? If I ask you, what is the ratio between 10 meter and 1 kilometer? What is the ratio between 10 meter and 1 kilometer? So never answer, sir. In this case, never say 10 is to 1 gonna be the final answer. No, I said in ratio, units does not matter. It in ratio or ratio does not have any units. The meaning of it is not like you scrap out units directly. No. See, in this case, what you're gonna do simply 10 meter and 1 kilometer is written. I know in 1 kilometer how many meters are there? 1000 meters are there. So that is why you first of all you're gonna simplify units on both sides. Okay, so meter got cancelled out, zero got cancelled out, and your final answer over here will be 1 is to 100. Now this final thing is not having any units. This final thing is not having any units. So this is the ratio. 1 is to 100 is the ratio between 10 meter and 1 kilometer. Now remember, the first part of ratio is called antecedent, and the later part of ratio is called consequent. Okay, the way the way we are having numerator and denominator in terms of fraction, in the similar manner we have antecedent and consequent in terms of fraction, in terms of ratios. Okay, I hope guys this is clear to everyone. Please make a note of it, pause the video and note it down. Let's move on. So next point number 4, always maintain the integrity of a ratio. Always maintain the integrity of a ratio. Now, what is the meaning of this line? See, suppose if you have a ratio between girls and boys, like 7 is to 5. This is the ratio between girls and boys. And now, if you multiply any single part of a ratio, so suppose if you multiply 7 with 2, so you're gonna get 14. Then do multiply 5 with 2 so that integrity of ratio is intact. So if you are multiplying any part of a ratio, any part of a ratio with any number, do multiply remaining part of ratios with that same number. Always remember, while dealing with ratios, we have to maintain the integrity of ratio. Okay. Similarly, if you are multiplying this 7 with 10, if you are multiplying this 7 with 10, so do multiply this 5 with 10 so that ratio, the integrity of ratio remains intact. All right. Now, suppose the ratio between milk and water, suppose ratio between milk and water was like uh, 50 is to 60. This was the ratio. Now, if you are dividing first part by 2, then do multiply, do divide remaining part of ratio with 2. Okay, if any one part of ratio is being divided by 2, do divide the remaining part by 2. All right, so that integrity of the ratio remains intact. So 25 is to 30. So the comparison which exists between 50 and 60 also exists between 25 and 30. Okay, now if you are dividing 50 by 10, so do divide the remaining part of this ratio by 10 to maintain the integrity. So the meaning of 50 is to 60, the meaning of 25 is to 30, the meaning of 5 is to 6 is one as same thing. Now remember, in ratio multiplication and division works directly, but do not apply any addition and subtraction, directly. Okay, So you can apply multiplication and division directly, but please do remember, do not apply any addition and subtraction directly. Please make a note of it. In ratio, multiplication and division works directly, but addition and subtraction does not. Remember it. Okay, so let us move on to the next point. Okay, point number 5. Point number 5. Okay, now what is point number 5? Point number 5 is sum of different parts of ratio is always a factor, of actual total, actual total given. All right. Now, suppose in a in an alloy, in an alloy of not 100, in an alloy of 100 kg, the ratio of copper to zinc to copper to zinc to nickel, and nickel is being talked about. So there is an alloy which has been developed by using copper, zinc, and nickel in ratio of 3:1:6. Okay, so so 3 corresponds to copper, 1 corresponds to zinc, and 6 corresponds to nickel. Now remember it. In case of ratio, the sum of every part. So see, 3 plus 1 plus 6. 3 plus 1 plus 6. Sum of every part. In this case, sum of different part is what? 10. So in a ratio, the sum of every part, which is 10 here, is a factor of actual total, is a factor of 100. What is 100 here? 100 is the actual total. What is 100 here? 100 is the actual total. What is 10? What is 10? 10 is total in ratio. Total in ratio. What is 100? 100 is the actual. 100 is what? Actual total. Okay, so remember, if you add different part of ratios, it will always be equals to actual total. Okay. Oh, sorry, that if you, sorry, I'm really sorry. If you add different parts of ratio, so sum of different parts of ratio will always be a factor of actual total. Now, in this question, if you want to find out how much zinc is present, if you want to find out how much zinc is present in this alloy, how much zinc is present in this alloy. So what you can do, you can convert this ratio into fraction first. So in this ratio, if you want to convert this into fraction, so you will write down total 3 plus 1 plus 6, 10 in the denominator. 3 plus 1 plus 6, 10 in the denominator. What is 10 here? 10 is a total in ratio, and we want to find zinc. So number corresponding to zinc in the numerator. Number corresponding to zinc in the numerator, which is 10. Now please keep one thing in your mind. This 10 was the total in a ratio. So do multiply this fraction with actual total to find out the actual answer. So out of 100 kg, if you solve this, out of 100 kg, 10 kg is zinc in it. Similarly, in this particular question, if you want to find out in this 100 kg, how much copper is present? So firstly, write down total in ratio. So 3 plus 1 plus 6, 10 in a ratio. Now we want to find out copper. So number corresponding to copper, which is 3 in the numerator, into 100. Why into 100? Because this 10 corresponding to what? Total in a ratio. And this 100 corresponding to what? Total in actual. Okay. So we're gonna get 30 kg here. And similarly, if you want to find out nickel, so nickel will be equal to 6 by 10 in 200, which is what, 60 kg. So remember, in the sum of different part of ratio will actually be a factor of total, actual total. Okay. So I hope all these points are clear. Now let us utilize all these points to solve some question based upon ratio. So let's move forward now. Yeah, this is the first question. Now see what this question says. If a carton containing dozen mirror meaning 12 mirror is dropped, which of the following cannot be the ratio of broken mirrors to unbroken mirrors? So examiner wants to talk about broken mirror is to unbroken mirror, UBM. Here broken mirror is to unbroken mirror. How many mirrors were there? 12 mirrors were there. And it is not given to us that out of 12, how many got broken down. Okay, so what you can do here, you can go for different kind of assumptions. It might possible one mirror is broken, remaining 11 is intact because total are 12. It might possible two mirror got broken and remaining 10 are unbroken. Now what is 2 is to 10? 2 is to 10 is basically equal to 1 is to 5. You can cancel out 2 ones are 2, 2 fives are 10. So you can write it like this. Similarly, broken mirror to unbroken mirror. So 3 mirror can be broken, 3 mirror can broken, and remaining 9 remains intact. So this ratio comes out to be equal to 1 is to 3. Simplify it further. 3 is to 9. 3 ones are 3, 3 threes are 9. Now 4 got broken, remaining 8 intact, ratio is 1 is to 2. 5 got broken, remaining 7 intact, ratio is 5 is to 7. Right? 6 got broken, remaining 6 unbroken, ratio is 1 is to 1. All right. Further, what else you can see over here? 7 got broken, remaining 5 unbroken. Okay, 8 got broken, remaining 4 unbroken. So ratio comes out to be equal to 2 is to 1. 9 broken, remaining 3 unbroken. So ratio comes out to be equal to 3 is to 1. 10 broken, 2 unbroken. Ratio 5 is to 1. 11 broken, 1 unbroken. So ratio 11 is to 1. Now, you cannot say, sir, all the 12s got broken down and 0 unbroken. So remember, ratio is actually a comparison. You need at least 2 objects to create a ratio. So 12 is to 0 signify nothing. Okay, for ratio is actually comparison of 2 or more than 2 articles, more than 2 objects. So in case of comparison, you need at least 2 objects. So 12 is to 0 is not making any sense. We never say that one part of ratio is 0. We never do that. Now, so these are the possible ratios. So we want to find out the ratio which cannot be possible, So 2 is to 1 is possible. We have seen it. 2 is to 1 is possible. All right, broken to unbroken. Okay, 3 is to 1 is possible. We have seen it. 3 is to 1 is possible. 1 is to 1 is also possible. 1 is to 1 is also possible. But the only ratio which is not possible here is 3 is to 2. So answer of this question is option C, because we are looking for that ratio which is not possible. Now I have told you the sum of different part of ratio is always a factor of total. Now in the first option, what is sum? 3. 3 is a factor of 12. 3 is a factor of actual total, which is 12. Hence this ratio is possible. What is sum of different parts in second option? 4. 4 is actually a factor of 12, meaningly 12 is divisible by 4. So second ratio is also possible. Now, 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 is a factor of 12, meaning 12 is divisible by 2. So this final ratio is also possible between broken mirror and unbroken mirror. So what is 3 plus 2? 3 plus 2 is 5. Now 5 will not divide 12 completely. 5 will not divide 12 completely. So we can say 5 is not a factor of 12. Hence option C is that ratio which is not possible for this present question. Hence is the right answer. I hope class this is clear to everyone. Let's move on now. Okay, let's move on. Now it is given, it was a PYQ, it is from CSAT. It says there are 3 points PQR on a straight line such that PQ is to QR. Just a second. PQ is to uh, QR is 3:5. If n is the number of possible values of PQ is to PR, then what is n equals to? N is different possible values of ratio that will exist between PQ and PR. Okay, now understand this question. PQ are 3 points lying on a straight line. So the first case, it might possible P comes first, then there is Q, and then there is R. The first way these 3 points can exist. Second, it might possible R comes first, then Q, and then we are having P. Third case, it might possible Q comes first, then P in between, then R. Fourth case, it might possible R comes first, then P in between, and then Q. Now, fifth case, it might possible, uh, yeah, P comes first, and then R, and then Q, and finally, it might possible Q comes first, then R, and then P. These are the only 6 different ways in which 3 points P, Q, R can lie on a straight line. Okay. Now, let us read further. It is given that ratio between PQ and QR is 3:5. It is also given that ratio between PQ and QR is 3:5. Which means if you assume PQ to be 3x, if you assume PQ to be 3x, then QR will automatically become 5x. Okay. Now, in case 1, P to Q, this distance P to Q is 3x, and Q to R, this distance is 5x. Okay. Now, P to Q, the distance is 3x, and Q to R, distance was 5x. P to Q, distance is 3x, P to Q, distance is 3x, and Q to R, distance is 5x. Similarly, P to Q, distance is 3x, and Q to R, this complete thing, distance is 5x. Next, P to Q, distance is 3x, and Q to R, distance is 5x. This arrangement is not possible. Arrangement 5 is not possible because according to arrangement 5, 3x is a greater value as compared to 5x, which is not possible. 3 is not greater than 5. So case number 5 discarded. Case number 5 what discarded? What about case number 6? Case number 6 says P to Q. This distance is 3x, and Q to R, this distance is 5x. Case number 6 is also discarded because according to case number 6, 3x is greater than 5x, which is not possible. So case number 6 also discarded. But we are not interested in arrangement of point. We are interested in ratio. What? PQ is to PR ratio. We are interested in PQ is to PR ratio. So from first case, what is PQ? It is 3x. From first case, what is PR? P till R. So it is 3x plus 5x, which is 8x. So ratio comes out to be equal to 3:8. Now the second case. In second case, what is PQ? 3x again. In second case, what is PR? P to R, 3x plus 5x, 8x. So according to second case, ratio is again 3:2. So first ratio is 3:2, second ratio is 3:2. There is no difference. So case number 1 and case number 2 are giving me only one value of ratio, which is 3:8. Now case number 3. In case number 3, PQ is 3x, and in case number 3, PR. Try to understand. P to R is 5x, Q to P is 3x. So in this case, Q to R was 5x. So P to R in this case will comes out to be equal to 2x. So according to case number 3, ratio will comes out to be equal to 3:8. And similarly, in case number 4, P to Q is 3x, Q to R is 5x. So P to R obviously 2x. So according to case number 4, again we are getting same value of ratio. So we are getting two different values of ratio. Hence value of n is what? 2. Answer over here is option B. We are getting what? Two different values of ratio. 3:8, 3:2. Hence answer over here is what? 2. Alright, let us move on to the next question. Now this is slightly different scenario. In this case, we must know how to compare greater than and less than things. So we'll discuss this later on. Let us do some fundamental questions. This is again, in this question, it was a PYQ, but in this question, you need to know the concept of percentages also. So I'll discuss this question under percentages. So don't you worry. All right. Now let us do some questions that are directly based upon ratio. In this question, what examiner says: a person distributes his pens among four friends. So there are four friends: A, B, C, and D. In the ratio 1 by 3 is to 1 by 4 is to 1 by 5 is to 1 by 6. What is the minimum number of pens that the person should have? Now, we never distribute pens in terms of fraction. See, it is not possible that I can give Mr. A 1/3 of a pen. Pen is always one. Pen is, if you want to give pen to your friend, so you always, the least you can do, you can give the least number of pen that you can give to your friend is one actually. You cannot give half of a pen. You cannot give fraction or decimal of a pen. Okay. So in this question, firstly, we have to convert these fractional ratios in linear ratio. Okay. So what is this actually? This is fractional ratio. Now, how to convert this thing into linear ratio? So firstly, take LCM. Firstly, take LCM of all the denominators. So 1 by 3, denominator is 3, 1 by 4, denominator is 4, 1 by 5, denominator is 5, 1 by 6, denominator is 6. So 3, 4, 5, take LCM, it comes out to be equal to 60. Now use integrity of ratio. Integrity of ratio, meaningly multiply 1 by 3 with 60. If you are multiplying any part of ratio with 60, so you must multiply remaining part with 60. So if you are multiplying any part of ratio with 60, then you must multiply remaining part with 60 so that integrity of the ratio remains constant. All right. Now if you solve this, so 320, 4, 15, 5, 12, and 6. And now this is feasible. You can give 20 pence to A, meaning a person can give 20 pence to A, 15 pence to B, 12 pence to C, and 10 pence to D. Now we are looking for minimum number of pens with the person. Minimum number of pens. So these are the shortest possible form. What is this? This is linear form of ratio. And remember, ratio are always the shortest possible form, the minimum possible values. So what that person can do, that person can give 20 pen to A, 15 pen to B, 12 pen to C, and 10 pen to D. So in this way, 12 plus 15, 35, 35 plus 12, 47 plus 10, 57. So minimum number of pen with that person must be 57, which is option A here. Suppose if examiner was looking for minimum even number of pens. If examiner over here was looking for minimum even number of pens. So 57 is the minimum possible value, but 57 is not even. So if you want to convert this thing into even, so just multiply this 57 with minimum or shortest even number, which is 2. So if examiner is looking for just minimum number of pen, answer is 57. If examiner is looking for minimum even number of pens, then answer will be 140. Okay, understood? Let's move on to the next question. Okay, now see, let us read this question. It says, three friends Anita, Bindu, Champa divide 1105 amongst them in such a way that if 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 15 rupees are removed from the sums that Anita, Bindu, and Champa received respectively, then the share of the sums that they got will be in the ratio 11 is to 18 is to 24. Now, if you read this question carefully, then finally the ratio given is Anita, Bindu, and Champa. Final ratio given is 11 is to 18 is to 24. This is what? The final after deducting 10, 20, and 15. What is this? This is the ratio after deducting 10 rupees from Anita's share, 20 rupees from Bindu's share and 24 rupees from this Champa's share. So after deduction, I can say Anita is having 11x rupees with her, Bindu is having 18x rupees with her, and Champa is having 24x rupees with her. So over here, I am using integrity of ratio. In this case, I have multiplied 11 with x. So if you are multiplying 11 with x, so you must multiply 18 with x and this 24 with x. So in this way, we are keeping the integrity of ratio. Now, 11x is the share of Anita after deduction of 10 rupees. So actual money that Anita must get in the beginning should be 11x plus 10, because after deduction of 10 rupees, Anita was getting 11x. So actual share of Anita must be 11x plus 10. Similarly, after deduction of 20 rupees, Bindu was getting 18x. So actual share of Bindu must be 18x plus 20. And similarly, actual share of Champa must be 24x plus 15. And in this way, this must be equal to total money that these three friends have distributed among themselves, which is given 1105. Which is what? 1105. Okay. Now, if we simplify it, so 11x plus 18x, 29x, 29 plus 20, 29 plus 20, it becomes 29 plus 49 plus 4, 53x, plus 10 plus 20, 30, 30 plus 15, 45, 1105. Okay, so you can check it out. Okay, you can further 24 plus 18, 24 plus 18, simply 42, 40. You can do this, I know it. Now simplify this further. So 53x is equals to 1105 minus 45. So 53x from here comes out to be equal to 1100 minus 40, which is 1060. Okay, and x comes out to be equal to 20. What is x here? X comes out to be equal to 20, because x will simply be equal to 1060 upon 53. Now, what are we looking for? How much did Champa receive? So, if you check out, Champa has received 24x plus 15 rupees. So, 24x was the share of Champa after deducting 15 rupees from it. So, actual share of Champa was 24x plus 15. So, which is equals to 24 into 20 plus 15. 24 into 20 is 480 plus 15, which comes out to be equal to 495. Answer is option A. I hope, guys, this is clear to everyone. Okay, shall we move on now? So we are using what? Integrity of ratios here. Let's move on. Okay, now this is question 4, and in this question we will learn merging of ratio. We will learn merging of ratio. And for merging of ratio, what we gonna do? We will be using neighboring technique. We will be using what? Neighboring technique. Okay, now what is it and how to apply this neighboring technique? So listen, it is given that ratio of money between Rita and Sita was 7:15, and with Sita and Kavita is 7:16. If Rita has 490 rupees, find out the share of Kavita. Now try to understand one point here. See, whether you talk about first ratio or you talk about second ratio, in both the ratio, we are talking about same person. There is one person which is common, and the name of that person is Sita. Name of that person is what? Sita. So if person is same, then how the hell it is possible that it gonna have two different monies with her at a time? According to first ratio, Sita is having 15 rupees with her, and according to second ratio, Sita is having 7 rupees. If Sita is same person, then how the hell is it possible that this common person will have two different sum of amount at the same time? It is not possible. So in this question, when we see something common in two ratios, so in that case, we merge ratios first. Okay, we merge ratios first. So we're gonna use neighboring technique for merging. So what you're gonna do? See, write like this. Rita is to Sita is to Kavita. Write common person always in the middle. while applying this neighboring technique, while applying merging of ratio, always write common thing of ratio in between. Now in the first line, write down all the values of first ratio. According to first ratio, Rita is 7. According to first ratio, Sita is 15. According to first ratio, Kavita is not given. So keep the space below Kavita empty. Now let's talk about second ratio. In second ratio, see, in second ratio, we do not have anything regarding Rita. So keep space below Rita in the second ratio empty. In second ratio, Sita is 7. And in second ratio, Kavita is what? 16. Kavita is what? 16. So firstly, write like this. Now apply neighboring technique. In the first ratio, this 15 is not having any neighbor below Kavita. So repeat this 15. Okay. In the second ratio, this 7 below Sita is not having any neighbor. So repeat this 7 below Rita also. Okay. All right. Understood. I hope guys this is clear to everyone. Now, vertically down multiply. So remember, vertically down multiply. So after this filling the neighboring gaps, vertically down multiply. So what is 15 into 16? 240, because 15 into 15 is 225. Okay, so it is 240. What is 15 into 7? 15 into 7 is 105. And what is 7 into 7? What is 7 into 7? 7 into 7 is 49. Now we have merged the ratio of Rita, Sita and Kavita. So from this final merging, I can say if Rita is getting 49 rupees, or I can say if Rita is getting 49x rupees, then Kavita will get 240x rupees. Then Kavita will get 240x rupees. Now I know that actually Rita is getting 490, which means this 49x is equals to 490. If 49x is equals to 490, then 240x will be equal to 2400. So actual money that Kavita will get here will be 2400. And if we want to talk about share of Sita, so if Rita is getting 49x rupees, Sita will definitely get 105x rupees. So if 49x is 490, okay, so from here value of x is 10. So 105x will definitely be equal to 1050. Hence, share of Sita will be 1050. Okay, but the answer is we are looking for share of Kavita. So share of Kavita over here is 2400, and this is called merging of ratios. All right, guys, let us move on. Now, what if values are very far? So many ratios are given. Then how we can merge? See, A is to B is given, B is to C is given, C is to D is given, but we are finally looking for A is to D. Now, if you observe A is to B, B is to C, C is to D, you're going to find out B is common in first two ratios, C is common in next two ratios. All right. So if you want to find out A is to D finally, so we're going to use neighboring technique here. So how we going to use it? See, we will write down the common values in the middle. So firstly, we will be writing something like this. A is to B is to C. Comparing first ratio with second ratio, B was common. So I wrote B between A and C. Now, if you compare BC, second ratio and third ratio, C is common. So you will be writing B is to C is to D. Because one ratio is B is to C, another ratio is C is to D. So in this case, C was common, so you will write B first, then C, and then D. So this is how you must write down ratios. You must write down ratios before actually getting any values. Okay. Now, according to first ratio, A is 3, B is 4. First ratio has not provided any value of C, so leave the space below C vacant. First ratio hasn't provided any value of D, so leave the space below D empty. Now, let's talk about second ratio. According to second ratio, B is 5 and C is 6. Second ratio is not providing any value of A. Second ratio is not providing any value of D. So leave the spaces below A and D empty. Now the third ratio. Third ratio, in third ratio, C is 11 and D is 9. So in third ratio, C is 11. So write 11 below C and write 9 below D. Okay. Now the third ratio is not providing any value of A, is not providing any value of B. So leave spaces below A and B empty in case of third ratio. Okay. Now apply the neighboring technique. Pay attention to first row. Pay attention to first row. In first row, the 4 below B is not having any neighbor below C. So repeat this 4. Now similarly, this 4 below C is not having any neighbor below D. So repeat this 4 again. Okay. Now in the second ratio, 6 below C is not having any neighbor below D. So repeat this 6. And this 5 below B is not having any neighbor below A. So repeat this 5. Similarly, in the final ratio, this 11 below C is not having any neighbor below A, is not having any neighbor below B. So repeat this 11. And this new 11 below B is not having any neighbor below A. So repeat this 11. So this is how you must fill the gaps using neighboring technique. Now vertically down, you will multiply. What you gonna do? Vertically down, multiplication should be there. Okay. So vertically down, 4 into 6 into 9. 4 into 6 into 9, which is 24 into 9. So we're going to write down 24 into 9 below D. Okay. Now, below C, 4 into 6, 24 into 11 below D, below C. And talking about B, 4 into 5, 4 into 5, 20 into 11 below B. And finally, 3 into 5, 15 into 11, 15 into 11 below A. We are interested in A is to D. We are interested in A is to D. Just a second. Okay. So we are interested in, just a second, guys. Let me check my laptop battery. Yeah, it is proper. Okay. So below A, write down 15 is to 11. Below A, write down 15 is to 11. And below D, write down 24 is to 9. Okay. Now, we know that 3 5s are 15, 3 8s are 24. So 5 into 11, 55 below A, and 8 into 9, 72 below D. So ratio between A and D is 55 is to 72. So I hope guys you have learned. Okay. So I hope guys you have learned that how to merge ratios if more than one ratios are given. All right. I hope this is clear. Let's move on. Now let me tell you some more points over here. Some few more points over here. Suppose if question was like twice of A is equals to thrice of B is equals to 4 times C, then find what is ratio between A, B and C. If situation was like this, so what to do? In this case, pick LCM of this two, because everywhere equality is given, this 3 and this 4. Everywhere equality is given. So what is LCM of 2, 3 and 4? 12. And add one variable from your side. So now what you're gonna do? Write this twice of A, thrice of B, 4 times C equals to 12k. And from here you can say 2A is equals to 12k, 3B is equals to 12k, and 4C is equals to 12k. Now 2A is equals to 12k, so A comes out to be equal to 6k. 3B is equals to 12k, so B comes out to be equal to 4k. 4C is equals to 12k, so C comes out to be equal to 3k. Now we want ratio between A, B and C. So value of A was 6k, value of B was 4k, value of C was 3k. Now you can cancel out k from everywhere, so which is finally equal to 6 is to 4 is to 3. So this is how we calculate ratios if equalities are given. All right. Okay. Now there could be one more scenario. What that scenario is? Suppose you examiner can give you something like this: twice of A upon 5 is equals to 6 times B upon 7 is equals to 3 times C upon 4. Find B is to A is to C. Find ratio between B is to A is to C. So in this question, firstly, what you're gonna do? Write down A, and below A it will be 5 by 2. This 2 in the denominator will goes in the denominator of 5. So this twice of a upon 5 can be written as a upon 5 by 2. This 6 times b upon 7 can be written as b upon 7 by 6. And this 3c upon 4 can be written as 3c upon 4 by 3. Once you have represented information like this, in the numerator you are having only a, second case you are having only b, third case you are having only c. So from here you can directly write, see it is written b is to a is to c. From here you can directly write b is to a is to c. So value of b can simply be 7 by 6x. You can write it directly like this. Okay. Then value of a, below a it was 5 by 2, so write down 5 by 2 directly. And value of c is 4 by 3, so 4 by 3. Remember guys, a is to b is to c is not equal to b is to a is to c. In ratio, order of elements matter. The question that I have asked, in that question I want to write down value of b first, then a, then c. So in this question below b we were having 7 by 6, so we're going to write down 7 by 6 first. Below a we were having 5 by 2, then 5 by 2, and below c we were having 4 by 3, that is why 4 by 3 finally. Okay, now if you want to convert this ratio into a linear form, so take LCM of 6, 2 and 3, which is 12. So multiply 7 by 6 with 12, 5 by 2 with 12, and 4 by 3 with 12 to keep the integrity of the ratio intact. So 7 by 6, so it becomes 6 2s are 12, 7 2s are 14. 2 6 are 12, 6 5s are 30. 3 4s are 12, 4 4s are 60. So ratio between B, A and C in this case is what? It is 14 is to 30 is to 16. Understood everyone? I hope this is clear. So these are some important cases of ratios, some important arithmetical cases of ratios. Please make a note of it. All right. Let us move on to the next question. Now, guys, I think you can handle it pretty simple. Okay, so what you want to see? Value of P is 9, value of Q is 8, and value of R is 7. Put value of P, write down, divide by value of Q, R, RP ratio. You're going to get fractional ratio, then take LCM and multiply every ratio with that LCM to get the linear value in the answer. So this is your homework. Please try this question. Okay, now, let us solve this question. Now, in this question, it is given that 25,380 is divided among PQR in such a way that P received 2/7 of Q and R together. So let us assume that P has received P money, Q has received Q money, R has received R money. So it was given P received 2/7 of Q and R together. So money of Q plus money of R. If you calculate 2/7 of that, you're gonna get money of P. So this is the first equation that is given directly. Okay. Now the next. Q received 3/5 of P and R together. So Q received 3/5 of P and R together. So we are looking for the amount received by P. It is pretty easy to answer. Now see, one more information is given. Amount of P plus amount of Q plus amount of R, it must be equal to 25,380. Because this was the total amount that was divided among P, Q and R. Okay. Now guys, listen. If you simplify equation 1, so from here you can say 7P is equals to twice of Q plus twice of R. Okay. Now it is twice of Q, it is twice of R. So if I add 2P both side, this is your equation 3, both side of equation 3. So if you do that, so on left side you are getting 7P plus 2P, and on the right side you are getting 2Q plus 2R plus 2P. Now on the left, 7P plus 2P comes out to be equal to 9P, and on the right 2 can be taken common, and inside you are left out with Q plus R plus P. Now try to understand. So 9P is equals to Q plus R plus P. What is Q plus R plus P? What is Q plus R plus P? Q plus R plus P is similar to P plus Q plus R. So Q plus R plus P is sum of total money which is divided among P, Q and R, and it is given equal to what? 25,380. So Q plus R plus P is being replaced by 25,380. So from here, P comes out to be equal to 2 by 9 into 25,380. Now, if you solve this, so 9 twos are 18, 9 eights are 9 twos are 0. So it comes out to be equal to 5640. So what share P gonna get? P will be getting 5,640. Simple. So sometime it is not necessary that we solve everything with ratio. Sometimes algebra and simple calculation are equally good. Okay. I hope this is clear to everyone. Let us move on. Okay. Now, so rupees, let's read this question. What is given? 50 rupee is divided among 6 men, 12 women, and 17 boys. So that 2 men are getting as much as 5 boys. All right. And 2 women are getting as much as 3 boys. All right. It is clear. So rupee 50 is divided among six men, 12 women and 17 boys. So 12 plus 6, 18 plus 17, 35 people. So 50 rupees has been divided among how many people? 35 people. Apart from that, 2 men were getting as much as 5 boys and 2 women were getting as much as 3 boys. Find the share of a boy. I want to find out how much money one boy is getting. So let us assume that one man is getting M rupees, one boy is getting B rupees, one woman is getting W rupees, and one boy is getting B rupees. So in this way, 2 men will get 2M rupees and 5 boys will get 5B rupees. 2 women will get 2W rupees and 3 boys will get 3B rupees. Okay. Now, so this is the equation that I'm getting here. Now from this equation, M upon B simply comes out to be equal to 5 upon 2. Okay. Now W upon B simply comes out to be equal to 3 upon 2. Is this clear? All right. Now see, from this fractional type of ratio, you can directly say that in ratio, if M is 5, B is 2. In ratio, if W is 3, B is 2. So what is the ratio between men, boys? Okay. So if, now see, in the first case, we have M, we have B. In the second case also, we have W, we have B. So if you want to merge ratio, so you will be writing B in the middle. You will be writing B in the middle. So M, B in the middle, and then W. From the first ratio, M is 5 and B is 2. First ratio hasn't provided any value of W, so that is by W. Second ratio. W is 3. From the second ratio, W is 3. So write down 3 below W. And from the second ratio, B is 2. Okay. Now, in the first row, this 2 below B is not having any neighbor below W. So that is why I repeat this 2. And this 2 below B in the second row is not having any neighbor below M. So repeat this M. Now, 2 3s are 6, 2 2s are 4, 5 2s are 10. So the ratio between number of men, amount goes to men, single men, amount goes to single boy, and amount goes to single W is comes out to be equal to 10 is to 4 is to 6, which can be simplified further, which is finally equal to 3 is to 2 is to 5. Okay, understood? So 2 men were getting as much as 5 boys and 2 women were getting as much as 3 boys. So 5 upon 2, and so it's gonna be 5 to 3, which means if one man is getting 5x rupee, then okay, let me write down over here, which means if one man is getting 5x rupees, so one boy will be getting 2x rupees and one woman will be getting 3x rupees. All right, understood? Okay. Now, how many men were there? 6 men. So 6 men will be getting 6 into 5x. How many women are there? 12 women. Okay. So 12 women will be getting 12 into 3x. Okay. And 17 boys are there. 17 boys are there. Okay. So 17 into 2x. So this gonna be the total money distributed among these all people, and it is given equal to what? 50. Is what? 50 rupees. 6 into just a second, let me check. Women are 3, so 12 into 3, boys are 2, so 70. Yeah, it is 30x plus 36x plus 34x comes out to be equal to 50. So 36 plus 4, 40, 36 plus 4, 40, 30, 70, 30, 100x. So 100x comes out to be equal to 50. From here, x will comes out to be equal to 1 by 2. What are we looking for? We are looking for share of a boy, which was 2x. We were looking for share of a boy, which was 2x, which means 2 into half is finally equal to 1 rupee. So how much money one boy is getting? Only 1 rupee. Understood? Okay. This is, I hope this is clear to everyone. Let us I'll solve this question, but give me a second. Yeah, let us solve this first. We will come back to this question, not now, because this is little difficult. So let us understand the other aspect of ratios first. Okay. Now, what is over here? What is given? It is given that income of A, it is given that income of A and B are in the ratio 3 is to 2. Okay. And their expenditure is in the ratio 5 is to 3. Now each saves rupee 2000. Each save rupee 2000. It means if A is saving rupee 2000, B is also saving rupee 2000. Now I know it that if I subtract expenditure from income, I'll be getting saving. It is quite obvious. Suppose if your income is 100 rupees and out of 100 rupees you are spending 80 rupees. So how much money you are left out with? Only 20 rupees. Simply, if you want to find out your savings, so what you're going to do? You will subtract expenditure from your income. Now, to find out savings, if you want to find out savings and you know the method, income minus expenditure is saving. So you cannot directly go for 3 minus 5 here. You cannot directly go for 2 minus 3 here, because 3 is the income of A and 5 is the expenditure of A. You cannot go directly. I have told you. In ratios, we can go for multiplication and division directly, but we cannot add and subtract directly. Remember it. Do not add or subtract directly. Remember it. But you can go for subtraction and direction. You can go for subtraction and addition if you justify the condition of the question. Okay, you can go for that if you justify the condition of the question. Now in this question, it is given that A is saving 2000 rupees, B is saving 2000 rupees. So it means ratio of savings of A and B is 1 is to 1. So ratio of savings of A and B has to be 1 is to 1. It is what? 1 is to 1. Now, see, I cannot go for addition and subtraction directly in ratio, but I can do that indirectly. Indirectly, meaningly, if you justify condition of the question, if you do that, if you justify condition of the question, then it is feasible that we can do subtraction and addition in ratio. Okay. Now listen. See, income of A was 3. So from 3, if I subtract 5, I won't be getting 1. From 3, if I subtract 5, I won't be getting 1. So improvise ratios now. So if you multiply 3 with 2, income of A was 3, you multiplied this 3 with 2. So you must multiply income of B with 2 also. So new income of A is 6, new income of B is 4. Now why we have done that? keep expenditure same. Why we have done that? Now, if you subtract 5 from 6, you will surely get 1. If you subtract 3 from 4, you will surely get 1. Now, this subtraction and addition is applicable because you have justified the condition of the question, which was ratio of saving should be 1:1. This is justifiable here. It is what justified here. So, this subtraction is done. Okay. Now from here, 1 unit of savings from ratio is actually equal to 2000 rupees of reality. What are we looking for? Their income. So in a ratio, saving is 1 unit. In a ratio, income of A is 6 unit. In ratio, income of A is 6 unit. So if 1 unit is 2000, 6 unit will be 12,000. All right. If 1 unit is 2000, income of B, which is 4 unit, it should be what? 8,000. Understood, guys? I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay, let us move on. So let me see. Yeah, firstly, I'll cover those questions that are very, very relevant as per CSAT, and then we will move on to the other cases. Okay, so let us do this first. This is very important question pertaining to CSAT. Okay, now in this question, what is given? A bag contains 25 paisa coin, 10 paisa coin, and 5 paisa coins in the ratio. Number of coins are in the ratio 1:2:3. Okay, and total money is 30 rupees. So we want to find out number of 5 paisa coin. So from this number of coin thing, if you assume that number of 25 paisa coins are x, okay, then number of 10 paisa coin will automatically be 2x, and number of 5 paisa coin will automatically be 3x. Now, if you are having 10 coins of 25 paisa, if you are having 10 coins of 25 paisa, then total money gonna be 25 into 10, which is 250 paisa. In this question, we are having x number of coins of 25 paisa, so total money gonna be 25x paisa. Okay. Now, if you are having 20 coins of 10 paisa, then total money gonna be 20 into 10, 200 paisa. In this question, we are having 2x coins of 10 paisa, so total money because of 10 paisa will be 20x. And finally, see, there are 3x coins of 5 paisa, so total money because of 5 paisa is 5 into 3, 15x. Now this is the total money because of all these coins, and it is given equal to rupees 30. On the left side, you are writing paisa. So on the right side, you will be writing paisa. So 30 rupees is equals to 3000 paisa. So you will write down 3000 here, because on the left you are writing paisas. On the right, you will convert these rupees into paisa. So it comes out to be equal to 25 plus 1540 plus 2060x, which is equals to 3000. From here, x comes out to be equal to 3000 upon 60, 0, 0 gone. It comes out to be equal to 50. What are we looking for? Number of 5 paisa coin. Number of 5 paisa coins we are looking for, which is simply equal to number of 5 paisa coin. 5 paisa coins were 3x in counting, so which is simply equal to 3 into 50, 150 coins of 5 paisa are there. Hence option C is absolutely correct. Understood, everyone? Shall we move on now? Please take a screenshot. So we will solve CSAT oriented problem first, and then we will move on to the difficult cases. Okay. Now this is the question that I would like you guys to try. Now the previous question and this question are slightly different. So use your intellectual, use your common sense while dealing with it. Okay. So now let us try this question. It is given an employer reduces number of his employees in the ratio 9:8. Okay. So number of employees. Initial case and final. So if initially there were 9 employees, now number of employees are 8. If initially there were 9 employees, now number of employees are 8. This is the meaning of the first line. And increases their wages in the ratio 14:15. So wages, their wages meaning wage. Okay. So wages per employee. So initially, if every employee was getting 14 rupees, now every employee is getting 15 rupees. So initially he was giving 14 rupees to every employee. Now he is giving 15 rupees to every employee. Now we know one thing. What is that? Suppose in your company, 20 people are working. Okay? 20 people are working. And salary of every person. Salary of every person is rupee 40. So what is total expenditure on salary for your company? Obviously, you will do this 20 into 40. That is on salary, you are spending 800 rupees. This is right. Now, similarly, if 9 employees were there initially and every employee was getting 14 rupees, so total expenditure on wages initially was 9 into 40. Now, in this case, we can directly go for multiplication and division. This is ratio. In ratio, multiplication and division is applicable. Similarly, on the other side, final expenditure is 8 into 15. On the other side, final expenditure gonna be 8 into 15, because finally there were only 8 people and every person was getting 15 rupees. So this is applicable here. Now, if we simplify, 3 3s are 9, 3 5s are 15. 2 7s are 14, 2 4s are 8. So 3 7s are 21 and 4 5s are 20. So now you can see initially total expenditure was 21 and finally total expenditure is what, 20. So you can see total expenditure on wages is decreasing now. Total expenditure on wages is decreasing now. Okay. So in what ratio it is decreasing? 21 is to 20. Okay. So initially total expenditure on wages was 21. Now total expenditure on wages is 20 only. Understood? Okay. So answer is option A. Okay. Now let me resolve some difficult scenarios here. See, this is one of the question. Now it is given 5 years ago, father's age was 5 times his son's age. So there is some present scenario. Okay. And examiner is talking about 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, there was age of father, there was age of son. So 5 years ago, father's age was 5 times the son's age. So 5 years ago, a ratio of father and son's age was 5:1. Okay. Now, 3 years hence. So from present, if you go 3 years ahead, from present, if you go 3 years hence, 3 years ago in future, so age of father will be 3 times of son. So in future, age of father to son is 3:1. Okay. What is the ratio of their present age? Now, if you talk about two people in the past, in the present, in the future, difference of their ages always remains constant. Okay. Remember it. If you compare your age with your father 10 years ago, the difference of your age and your father's age that was there 10 years ago, that is present now or in the future. The age difference between you and your father will always remain same. If you are 20 years younger than your father, so definitely you were 20 years younger than your father in the past, you will be 20 years younger than your father in the present, and you will be 20 years younger than your father in future also. But according to these ratio, I can see 5:1. The age gap in the past is 4. Age gap at present is 2. Age gap has to be constant. So what we're gonna do? Multiply this 4 with 1 and multiply this 2 with 2. Because 4 into 1 is 4, 2 into 2 is 4. So in this way, I can make age gap equal. So you multiplied this 4 with 1. So multiply this 5 with 1 also and this 1 with 1 also. So ratio in the past is 5:1. Now you multiply this 2 with 2. So multiply this 3 with 2 and this 1 with 2. So ratio in the future is 6:2. Now you can check out the age gap in the past. So 5:1. Age gap in the past is 4. 5 minus 1, 4. And you can check out age gap in future, 6 minus 2, which is 4 again. So we have justified what we have done. We have justified the inherent condition of the question. Okay. Now, what you can say, you can consider 5 unit was age of father in past and 1 unit is age of son in past. 6 unit is age of son in future and 1 unit, 2 unit is 6 unit is age of father in future and 2 unit is age of father in age of sun in future. Now what you can see, so see 5 unit to 6 unit, 5 unit to 6 unit, there is an increment of 1 unit in the age of father. From past to future, from past to future, there is an increase of 1 unit in the age of father. Similarly, there is an increase of 1 unit in the age of son also. So in the ages from past till future, there is an increase of 1 unit. And in reality, 5 years ago to 3 years hence, 5 plus 3, in reality, 5 plus 3, in reality, total increment is of how many years? Total increment is of 8 years. So 1 unit of ratio corresponds to 8 years of reality. So 5 unit. So father's age in past was 5 unit, which is equals to 5 into 8, 40 years. So in past, father was 40 years old. In past, age of son was 1 unit. So in past, son was 8 years old. Okay, let's talk about present. So from past to present is a gap of 5 years. So past to present is a gap of 5 years. So father at present. In the past, father was 40 years old. So in the present, father will be 40 plus 5, 45 years old. Present scenario. Okay. In the past, son was 5 years old. A son was 8 years old. So in the present, what is the difference between past and present? The difference between past and present is of 5 years. So in the past, son was 8 years old. So presently, son will be 8 plus 5, 13 years old. And what gonna be their ratio of present ages? The ratio of their present ages will be 45 is to 30. All right. So this is okay. Now, I hope guys we have solved all the CSAT relevant scenarios of this question. If something is left, we'll cover that part in the next video. Till then, please take care, be disciplined with the study, be with me. We're gonna learn a lot of new things. We're gonna enjoy a lot of new things. So this is all from my side for this session. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.